going on? Welcome to this week's episode of Read the Room. This week's? How about the next episode of Read the Room? We got an interesting show. We got my guy, Russ Green. He's going to be joining me. I don't know. This is not a coincidence. I just wore the shirt because, I just felt like wearing a green shirt. We haven't talked since we've been like quarantined, and he's with his kids. All four of his kids at home daily. And, we'll see what happens because I'm not sure what he's been doing. I'm excited. All right. So let's see what Russ is. Let's see if he can make it in. Here he is finally. Connecting to audio. There we go. I can't hear you.
What's up, man?
There you go. What's going on?
I'm gonna do something real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
You on your iPhone?
Yeah, dog. There we go. We got it now, baby.
Why do people like these ugly ass like backgrounds?
Hey, man, I'm in Wakanda over here. Y'all. Don't talk about my,
Oh, okay.
my background.
My bad. No disrespect.
Fuzzy or some shit.
No, you can see the outline of the
Hold
key.
On, let me find a better joint. I need something that's like definitively lit.
You've been waiting to do this.
Yeah, man. Everybody else has got it but me, man. I'm jealous as shit. I'm like, I want to be on a tropical vacation too.
It's only 6 of them. You got to like go find them.
No, you can make them.
Yeah, I'm sure. There is there's this other thing.
Oh, dog. Here we go. I got you now, baby.
There's another one in here for just straight up like if you have a green screen.
Yeah.
And because I have a green shirt on, this is what it does. It just puts whatever.
Here we go.
Just whatever the background is. Where did you get that one from? Did you download it?
I just went to Google Images and downloaded Bali.
Kinda?
Because it looked serene and lit. So I was like, why not? Yo, let me.
Why not like what's the other spot that everybody goes to?
Dubai?
No,
going to Dubai forever, yo.
Yeah. And that kind of fell off. And then the French Riviera was big. Saint-Tropez.
I don't know a lot of people that went there. I do know that there's like, I've decided that 2020 is a wash.
Yeah.
So I'm just saving my chips and like watching my account balance get higher and my credit balance go lower.
I know.
And I'm just stacking my money up and just as soon as they say we're free, nigga, I'm on a plane, yo.
I'm balling
West
out.
Africa, here I come.
You got to get your ticket now, though.
Yeah, I don't trust these corporations, dog. Some of these airlines are going to go under.
You think so?
Fuck yeah. I mean, you can't have that many empty planes with the expensive jet fuel, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, Delta might be all right. They have like an oil refinery, but I'm talking about like these little mom and pop bitches that I fly.
Spirit ain't gonna make it. You don't think Spirit?
Hey, you won't see me buying no Spirit Airlines ticket.
Hell no. Dog.
I want to buy this airline. This airline that I flew to Cape Verde, dog. Their shit. Someone told me that they bought their airline for $500,000. They only have 3 planes, and they travel internationally, dog, like intercontinental. And
what's the name of it?
It's Cabo Air.
Cabo Air?
Yeah, it's Cabo Verde Airlines. They're the worst thing I've ever flown in my life.
You ever flown on Alaska Air?
I love Alaska.
Really?
Alaska's my number 1 favorite airline to fly.
Wow. I
never Alaska bought Virgin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Virgin was touted as the best of the best.
Yeah, but they only go to like 5 cities though, back and forth.
No, they go all over the West Coast, of course. You can get a flight direct from DC, either DC or Dulles, right to San Francisco. You can go to Vancouver. Like, the shit is lit, dog.
Yeah.
Quietly, Vancouver's on my list, too.
Vancouver?
I want to go someplace that's not around a lot of people, like, unless I want to see people. Like, in Vancouver, you can go hiking and shit. You can go kayaking. You can do shit for you without worried about other people not wearing a mask and shit.
So no Toronto, then?
You know, did I tell you that's my favorite city?
Really? It's it's most diverse, right, in Canada?
I don't know actually the actual demographics, but I know there's some bad bitches over there.
Yeah, that's true. Dog, Canada is just lit, period. There's a different standard over there where it's just natural beauty. In other words, like, they take care of themselves and then they don't try to cover up all the shit with like makeup and all of this. They're just naturally beautiful.
This sounds like Tim mythology. I don't know many women that don't wear makeup.
Yeah.
But what I will say is quarantine is exposing the women that are naturally beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the ones whose nails look right and whose skin is on point, and whose hair is already like natural. They've been natural. They were born that way and they kept it that way.
Yeah.
So like the IG that I look at now is who's representing on that front. So I'm like, ooh, these
the same ones though.
They still vicious, you know?
Yeah. The same ones. It ain't gonna be no different just because we can't like get our hair cut or we can't get like our like grooming or whatever. But then I think it's actually helping a lot of people learn how to groom themselves because we got time, we got like the internet. There's all kind of classes you can do. So I feel like you can save a lot of money right now. I mean, forcefully, but people saving cash, man. Because what's the barber? The barber's $40 a week.
To learn how to cut my son's hair and therefore cut my hair and do all 3 of my daughter's hair so I can be that nigga, yo.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to do it, but my hands cramp. Because all of my daughters have really tight coiled hair. It's
muscles that you got to exercise.
Yeah, and your back gets all fucked up. And your shoulders and your hands cramp up. Like, once I get to like the 4-hour mark, I'm like, I call my sister or I call, their mom in and like, yo, you got to tag out. You know what I'm saying? Come get me.
I don't know how like women do that, but I guess that's what they practice. Like, I didn't do that. I didn't see my dude's hair and be like, yo, let me do your hair right quick. Sit down on my lap, nigga.
Yeah. Sit between my knees like they do in prison.
Yeah.
These prison cornrows.
No. You gonna sit at the step below me, and I'm gonna sit above, and I'm gonna do your hair, man.
Don't worry about it. My dick's gonna be right on your shoulder. Bro.
Right.
Don't worry about it. It's not sexual.
I mean, that is. I'm gonna do the intro separately, but we already in the conversation now. But I just hate the. I mean, okay. Here's a theory I have about barbershops.
Speak on it, Tim.
And how homophobic they are. And the reason
the place is homophobic, but not the people in it.
The people. Some of the people, right? Now this is me coming from growing up in Texas and then going to the Army. Yep, and then going to the Army and then having to move different places to get my hair cut in different cities.
Which is always the L.
Yeah. Look, yeah, you can. That's straight up.
He said, "This is not genetic. This is chronic bad hair."
Yeah, man, this is not. It doesn't run in my family, bro. But it really does, though. That's the thing.
That's hilarious.
But no, every barbershop had this underlying homophobia, and I think I have a theory. I have a theory on it. Is your
theory that black men are homophobic and conditioned to be?
It could be that, but also it's funny if okay, so you're in this environment. Yes, we are conditioned to be homophobic as black men. I mean, just the nature of the way we high side on each other. I mean, the way we talk shit about each other. The way
I know what high siding is, nigga.
Oh, okay. Is that an East Coast thing too?
No, it's not East Coast at all.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, my family, I spent like 10 summers in Montgomery, Alabama.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So that's a Southern thing. But we high side on each other. The first thing you say is that's gay, or you gay because you have like Pumas instead of Nikes, or just whatever. Everything that you make fun of somebody about is the fact that it is them being gay. And then
that's because we associate homosexuality and gay culture with weakness.
Negative and weakness, yeah.
And we associate, if you think about the actual act, we think about penetration as something is about dominance.
Yep.
And to receive is something of weakness.
Yeah. The woman receives. Like you my bitch now, because you receive me. That's why prison is so funny, because all these hardcore dudes, as soon as they get to prison, they go, I'm gonna give me some man. I'm gonna get me a man and have sex with him. And everybody's like, cool.
What? Man,
that's cool.
So bad.
Yeah. Everybody's like, cool. We ain't out on the street, so get what you can.
But I'm not gay. Though.
I'm not gay. I don't get why that's a problem. That's not gay of me.
You suck my dick.
Right. You the one that did it. I didn't do it. So the barbershop theory, though, is barbers every day are going to make other men look good. Like that's their job, is to make other men look attractive. Like, yeah, nigga, I'm a grown up, I'm a man. Come sit down, brother, have a seat. And just like we was talking about with the come on, sit down at the lower stoop, that's what they do every day. So of course.
You know what you're admitting by saying this, right?
Go ahead.
You're admitting that men behave in a way that's like largely predatory. So if you submit yourself to sit between a man's legs, then you're automatically in a space that's sexual, right? And that's very problematic, is to think that way. I think this like circles back in one of the conversations that we delved into before, when we were talking about the reality of men being conditioned not to experience or accept with a wholeness and fullness intimacy. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk about different things, like how men seek sex as a way to feel intimacy and to demonstrate intimacy, as opposed to, just being like, Tim, I love you. You're my big brother, you're one of my favorite dudes. You look great today. I love that cap on you. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas don't do that. You know what I mean? We don't build each other enough.
Try to.
And we feel that like one of the things that I think is really troubling, and one of the things I've discovered about myself even, is that I see affection as something that's like, I'm still discovering how to do, right?
It's at 40. At 40. Yeah. Because we were both, I find it's easier for me to show affection to my daughter.
Yes.
Than it would be, I mean, my daughter, my girlfriend, than it would be to show to another guy though.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like I'm one of the more open guys that I know. Like I can hug a man. Like I've hugged other dudes. I had a girlfriend and she had a gay friend. Mm-hmm. And when I saw him, I would hug him and he would be surprised. Yes. That's why me and her broke up, is because me and him, every time we went to the barbershop, they kicked us out. What's that? Yeah.
I was way more attracted to him than I was to her. And
right.
Once he hugged me, my penis got hard. And the rest
right. Exactly. So, but
no, I think, yeah, go ahead. That's go ahead.
But you think it's problematic to think that way? I'm talking about just the homophobic guys that are in there. I'm not talking about everybody.
I think I'm saying homophobia is a cultural phenomenon. It's not. Right. It's not specific to just Black men. It's also within the Black church. It's in Black families. It's something that we, in Black households, we try to suss out because we already feel oppressed, and being a part of an oppressed group, we don't want to add more complexity to it.
Right.
You can see that specifically now with like the Black trans movement. We're just in the way that I said Black trans, and not as a way to make it an out-group thing instead of an in-group thing. They're still within the group of Black, right? This is still another way that Black people are suffering, but we're always trying to other and put ourselves in the different positions of like privilege and power. So for me, it's like when I enter a lot of spaces, I try to recognize that, not to stand on self-righteousness, but I may have a differing opinion than most of the people there, and I try to vibe, and stay like within my fullness and within my light by just being authentic about like what I believe, and trying also not to like judge people or begrudge them for theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. What do you think religion plays in this whole thing? Because most of us grew up religious, and that's a whole nother level to the homophobe, like the judgment of certain activities that you do. I played soccer, and everybody was like, you like soccer?
So you like to wear short shorts, and
so you like shorts and run around kicking balls.
You like to build up tension by not scoring.
Right. Right. That's like tantric sex, soccer. Right. It's just built. Nobody scores. One team scores 2 points. And it's like, that was a good game. Like, no, it wasn't.
So you like to wear shin guards and knee pads. Is that what you said?
It's like it's like they try to do a roadmap to gay. Like everything leads to gay. Everything you so just let me understand this correctly. And they always have to know if you're gay, which that always bothered me when people say that. It's like, are you gay? I want to know. Not to me, but I mean like on like shows or whatever, I'll see it. And they'll do this thing where they'll go, are you gay? I don't have a problem with it, but I just want to know. Like,
for me, that speaks to everybody centering their opinion about people in identity and like assigning it a value, right?
Yeah,
there's a value structure that's behind the scenes that plays out in spaces that we enter, right? So if I walk into a room full of women and I'm the man, then I know that I'm representative of all men at that point. And I'm already a suspect. I'm already like, got my like, okay, shorty, like,
relax.
Which way is this gonna go? Is it still is it a vibe? Like if it's the beauty salon, I'm like, okay, I'm just be quiet. If it's
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you shut your mouth in there.
If it's like I'm like entering like if it's my significant other, like I walked in on her book club or some shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, okay, this is your space, you do what you will. You know what I'm saying? Or if like now the culture is like Zoom calls, you know what I mean? Like if I walk into a Zoom call and it's a bunch of women, You know what I mean? The first question is automatically, who is that? You know what I'm
Who is
saying?
that dude? Yeah, and what is his like? What's his
role? How do we assign him a value?
Yeah.
What is his relationship to us through you? You know what I'm saying?
What's his motive?
This person? Yeah.
Right.
But also, like, you know, I try to recognize that, and I think you're right. This is 40. Like, you really are centered in yourself a lot at 40 because you're going through another crisis of identity. So I'm at the halfway point of my life. I've learned a lot. I have some knowledge. I have some wisdom. I made a bunch of mistakes. I'm finally willing to own them. But I want to make better choices. You know, leave kind of legacy now. Do I want to still be homophobic and xenophobic and problematic as fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Or, that's really it. I mean, I think you're trying to not piss off anybody, but you're also trying to not be disrespected. Yeah. And walking that line is tough because there's people on one side that are waiting to disrespect you on purpose, but also on accident. But then you got the other side of people that you don't want to take advantage of, but you want them to know, hey, I'm cool. Like, don't think I'm trying to disrespect you. Yeah. So, and then of course go ahead.
The thing that I can like that immediately jumped to mind was I was pulling up to the house with the whole family in the car.
I was going to ask you about that. What's been happening?
We have a minivan, right? This is a while back.
Yeah.
So these kids were playing in the street. They're teenagers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like two of them have their shirts off. The other ones are just, you know, talking shit or whatever. They're not moving out the way. So I slowly creep up. They finally move out the way, and I pull into the spot. And as soon as I jump out the car immediately, this is when I knew I was grown. I jumped out the car immediately and just walked over to them with my hands out, and I started, the way I started, let me know I was grown. I was like, look, young brothers, like, I understand that y'all want to have fun and, you know, it's all good times or whatever. And I wish you nothing but peace, but y'all can't just be standing in the middle of the street. You know what I mean? It's very dangerous. Your lives are worth more. Value yourselves. And also, I'm coming through here with my family. You know what I'm saying? You guys, you see me pulling up. It would just be nice, you know what I mean, if you guys could step to the side so I could pull into my space.
Right.
As soon as I started saying any of that, you know what I'm saying? The nigga was like, oh, he got on Skechers. You know what I'm saying? Like, immediately, like, took all the wind out of the sails.
You can't, yeah. You can't curse them out. Because these niggas will swing on you. These little dudes will swing on you.
But you're right, that ass whooping is coming.
It's coming.
Part of the 40-year-old wisdom is understanding that you can't beat 6 teenagers.
No.
You can't. You're not going to do it.
Dog, you can't
You're not Bruce Lee.
No.
You're not
you can't, like, if you're a certain size and a certain, like, you got to be a fighter. You got to be fighting all your life and be willing to, like, not die, but willing to fight. I'm not fighting. If somebody, like, somebody my age, if we got drama, right, I'm going to talk to them loud. Right. But we both got to understand, and, like, I mean, we ain't fighting, right? Like, it ain't coming to that. I'm going to cuss your ass out, but we ain't going to fight. I got insurance. Like, I'm not fighting.
Grown niggas don't want to be hit.
They don't want to fight. We don't want to fight, man.
We just don't want to be hit.
Right.
Like, we don't want to be tired. We don't want to sweat out our clothes.
Tired. That's number 2. That's the worst. That dog. Fight tired is the worst. Tired. Like, you got to defend yourself and you winded. Like
where's my inhaler?
Yeah. Like, damn, you pull your shoulder, like muscles you ain't worked out in a while. You pull your shoulder out you hurt your pinky. Like, I'm not fighting.
Hey, let's quantify this. When is the last fight you remember being in?
I was in the Army.
So,
and it
18,
wasn't really it was like a 18, 19. We just pushed each other.
And that was it?
That was it. People broke it up.
So here's my thing. If you have lived more of your life not fighting than fighting, you're not a fighter now.
You're not a fighter. But if you have, like, these young kids and you walk over to them, you're risking like one of them being disrespectful. You're risking one of them not being raised right and being like, man, fuck this. And then swinging
goofy
on you.
Ass, right?
Yeah. This nigga got on Skechers.
He's this goofy, right? Goofy Skechers wearing ass nigga.
Dog, you got off lucky.
No, see, here's how
they just made fun of you. That's it. They didn't start swinging and shit.
Here's how I approached it. Number one, I expected that to come. Number two, as a comedian, I laughed because it was mad funny, right? And number three, like I walked in with the knowledge of the neighborhood, right? Like, this is where like cultural awareness is like pivotal. Like we talk about the main issue with police shooting is you have white people from another like county, from another like state even, come in to do a job in a different state and work in communities they know nothing about with no background, no context. So that's just automatic disrespect because you're coming with mad assumptions. I came with nothing but respect and peace. You know what I'm saying? Like I was out there looking for their best interest and mine. It's mutually beneficial. I got clowned in the process, but I know for a fact, you know what I mean? Every day that I drove up since then, them niggas don't be in the street like that. You know what I mean? So they heard me. And that's the thing that I had to learn. This is what I learned ultimately as 40 and like going through marriage counseling. Like I'd rather be heard than be right. Like you may have won the day, young sir, young Skechers gesture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you heard me though. You know what I'm saying? And my ego is not set up to like fall to pieces because you got me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, hey, you won.
That is funny.
But get your black ass out the street though.
Yeah, just get out the street. But you was gonna get them jokes. I see what you're saying though.
Yeah, I knew the jokes were coming.
Yeah. It's not like they just completely did. And he said it to you. Right. Which that's like another level of no, I'm gonna defend everybody. Right. I'll say some shit that everybody can laugh at. But on the inside, I'm gonna be like, okay, sir.
Right. Because when you're 15, you gotta show dominance to your crew. Right. You gotta be the leader. You want to be the chief fuckboy. You know.
Whatever you think the leader is, like the leader.
Well, it just comes back around to what we were talking about earlier. It's all about like how men are conditioned to behave a certain way that lacks affection and intimacy. Like I came to them with the language that he probably wouldn't even interpret. Yeah. Like, look, peace, love, and understanding is not what you grew up when you're 13, 14, 15. Everything 13, 14, 15 is nigga, you gay.
Yeah. You gay. Y'all let that dude talk to y'all? Y'all let that gay nigga with that family talk to y'all like that? That's everything you do. If you got on Skechers, if you got on an outfit they don't like, you gay, like, or funny. I don't know. Funny was worse to me. I used to hate like the iffy, like, I think he might be funny kind of shit.
No, gay was always the number one. Or gay, no, it was, okay, so if in the hierarchy of disrespect as a young black teen, it was number one was bitch.
Yeah.
You were a bitch.
That's fighting. They don't like you.
And then it was gay. Yeah. And then soft. That was the hierarchy.
Yeah. Soft was, soft was, I want to fight you, but I don't know how I would look after I fought you. Right. Like, I think I can whoop your ass.
You beat the artsy nigga?
You beat up this nigga got on Skechers.
Nigga to be painting his locker?
Yeah, you beat that nigga? And then people get mad at you for beating. Why you do him like that, man?
You ain't have to beat Roscoe like that.
You ain't have to beat him up like that, man. If you a bitch, like you did something, like you snitched on him, right? You said something in front of his girl that got him in trouble with his girl or something like you did something that a bitch would do. I lost you.
Oh, here I am. I'm sorry, my bad.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you muted yourself.
I was over there fucking with the screen. I swiped, just trying to see what happened.
Have you seen the video of the speaking of disrespect? There's a couple and they're walking like up the street, and then like a gang of young dudes walk in between the dude and the girl. And one of the young dudes start grabbing on the girl.
What the fuck, yeah.
Yeah. Have you? I wish I could show it to you without like.
There's no right way to be in that. Like, there's no right. Like those are one of those situations where you have to defend your lady. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what?
And no
6 dudes though.
Like, this is like, this is one of those things, the situational awareness, right?
Right.
So if you walk through, if a group of teenagers walks between you and your lady, the disrespect is automatic. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, they're trying to be disrespectful. Now, if, most mature Negroes, like, you and I would just clasp hands once the niggas pass through. But, you know what I'm saying, resume program. But if these niggas, like, grabbing up on shorty, like, that's just so out of pocket. And then it's really a man thing. It's not even about her at all. She's just it further just like enforces this structure of like patriarchy. Like, this is just an object to me.
Yeah.
But this is your object.
It's your object, so I'm gonna take it.
Right. But luckily, like, the women that I would date are all like, Black Belt Jones, Cleopatra Jones on the inside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but okay, so this kind of goes down to how has she been raised, because she might want you to defend her honor, like what her idea of what a man would do.
To defend her. But but a lot of experience I've had with situations like that, it's like, no, baby, don't do anything. They're just young and stupid.
Of course.
And then you got to go home and do your like Monday morning quarterback shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would have
stole on that nigga.
I should have just walked up to him one time and just rapped on him.
Right.
Have you ever had any?
If I just hit his jaw one time.
And you would have been dead.
In every 80s movie, there was the one punch knockout. You just wanted to be that nigga.
Right.
Like, we grew up on one punch knockouts and Mike Tyson. So we all thought that we had the power to knock a nigga square out. To smooth out.
You know how you got to catch somebody at the right velocity, and then like you got to really people moving. There's other people fighting with you. You're not gonna catch nobody like square like that.
But once again,
with 6 other dudes.
You said it was a group of niggas, right?
It was a group. It was like six dudes.
Once again, you're not beating 6 niggas.
No, and you're getting stomped out after. Right. They're not gonna punch you. The one that knocks you out ain't just gonna punch you and be like, "Well, that's it," and then leave. No, they was looking for. That's the other thing. They was looking for the fight too. A lot of times they be looking. Like if they can't get women, then they gonna go and find some dude with a woman and fight him.
And that's the
starting shit.
That's where the emotional maturity comes in.
Yeah,
you tapped into that right away and be like, "Look, bro, I'm out here with my lady. You know what I'm saying? We're not about that. There's no need for this. Like, what you did is mad disrespectful. You should apologize to my lady for disrespecting her and disrespecting yourself."
I ain't apologizing to shit, nigga. I ain't apologizing to shit. I ain't got a phone number tonight.
Right.
Like, they just be honest. Every girl I try to talk to, they didn't like how I smell, and I don't like that shit.
Right. Now
so I'm disrespecting you now.
Now you got to counsel the nigga like, it's okay, young brother.
Look, brother. It happened to me too. I've been there. You ain't been there, man. Yeah, you ain't been there, nigga. You got good hair. I don't know. You got. They just start giving you compliments and shit. Like,
your teeth are fixed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, your knuckles not ashy, dog. You ain't struggling like me. Look like you ate today.
Yeah. Did you eat today? I didn't. These are my cousin's clothes, nigga.
Hey, let me tell you what happened today. It's kind of similar to this shit.
First of all, break down the family dynamic now with the pandemic. Are they going back and forth, or are they staying with you, or is everybody together?
Well, number one, we're still a family, right? So it's all about like what we've negotiated, and what we've decided now is to do like a switch midweek, because there's no such thing as like the weekend anymore, right?
Right.
It's just days that they have to do their schooling.
Yeah, and days that they don't.
Like, I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and she does Thursday, Friday, right? So the kids are over my place Sunday night through Tuesday night. She'll come over mid-afternoon Wednesday. We'll have lunch as a family or play a board game or something. And then they'll go back to her place, and they're there through Saturday night. And like tonight, like right after this call, I'll do movie night. Just like, old times, just like, what it was before. What we realize is that we had to have the emotional maturity to realize we're in a crisis. And what we're doing, what's required of us is crisis management.
Right.
And that's already a stressful situation, and not to add any more stress to it with our drama. You know what I'm saying? So right now we're focusing on just keeping the peace and keeping everybody healthy and balanced. And like we've come up with conditions to even like figure out like how we're going to work through shit. Like if we want to talk about the relationship, we're not going to do it sober. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be high.
Yeah.
Because when you're high, the propensity for violence is extremely low. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then you're just kind of giggling at yourself. You're more self-reflective when you're high. You know what I'm saying? So we always try to create the right environment to have that kind of conversation. It's like something I read about this older married couple. They were offering wisdom, and they said, you never just start a conversation.
Yeah.
You ask to initiate a conversation, and what would be the right time. It's kind of like if your lady was watching TV, you wouldn't walk in the room and be like, bitch, we watching this right now. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, hey, I see you're watching this. Do you mind if we watch the show later? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she said, if she consents, then you guys sit down and you meet and convene and all that. So that's kind of where we are,
Yeah.
And it's nice because, they get to see like, the two different dynamics. Each of us gets a built-in me day. You know what I'm saying? And kind of just, I don't know about you, but my me time is super important now in the age of like shelter in place, quarantine, all this shit.
Right.
Like I need to kind of like sort through my shit so I'm not walking in with like mad energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Honestly, that's all I've had is a lot of me time.
Oh, word? Okay.
I go visit in Maryland twice a week, and then once on the weekend.
Yeah.
Just like I did before, but during the day I work from home. I think we work for the same company, and we BAH.
No, I'm not with them anymore.
Oh, you left? Okay, but
yeah.
I've been teleworking, and most of the day I'm at home.
Is it like mandatory telework indefinitely or what?
So the last I heard, and this was yesterday, is we're not going back until the end of the year at the earliest. And even then, it's going to be kind of sporadic.
Yeah.
So
like
varying
A days, B days, like A group goes in on these days, B group goes in on that day.
It depends on the team. Some teams, of course, are like who's going to work now are mission essential.
Right.
And then they change it like so the different levels, they're going to start going in different groups. We're like low. So we can almost go in now, but one at a time, kind of. And it's like put on a hazmat suit if you're going in. They put on a hazmat suit. They take your temperature with the forehead thing. You got to walk around with a thermometer and a mask, like just complete, and then clean off your area when you get done. Just complete, like,
See, that sounds like that would be so much for anxiety, dog. Like it would just be so much easier to stay home. Like I've never been more happy to not have a top secret clearance. You know what I'm saying? Because
really,
my niggas that have to go into the skiff, like they have to go in every day. Like I don't have to do shit, dog.
Yeah. I've been lucky though.
Even with the closest I've felt towards receiving reparations in a long time.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I've been home. I'm home all day, and I'll just go to Maryland in the evening, like I would usually do, and it's working out pretty good. I like that idea though of just like I feel like I'm saving money too because I don't have to spend it on gas. I don't have to. I went to the cleaners today, and I haven't been in a long time.
All I've been doing, Tim, is just aggressively paying down my debt.
I know.
And then, and then just looking. I looked at my checking account balance like 3 times a day just to make sure what I'm seeing is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like once I identified like the problem was me the whole time. I was like, I was really just throwing money away. Randomness.
Just stupid shit. And then when I go to the building where I work at, I eat lunch down there every day. That's $30 a day almost.
That's ridiculous, dog.
Just, because I'm too lazy to bring lunch, or I'll say to myself, oh, I can get lunch tomorrow at work. Now I'm cooking every day.
Yeah. I love it. Me and my crock pot.
I love it.
We've been working hard, yo.
I'm breaking it out.
Like a chicken burrito mix, you know what I'm saying? So I cook like a big pot of rice. Then I made the chicken burrito mix separate. I was making burritos for the kids for days, dog. I just polished that shit off today. I made chili the other week, yo.
I got to make chili. That's my next conquest. What kind though? Where'd you get the recipe?
What I do is I look at the most popular recipes that like pop up in the Google search, and then I try to identify which of those ones are from Black hands, and then that's the one that I trust as the source.
What's the identifying ingredient?
When you look at the amount of seasoning, you can always tell. If the shit says like half a teaspoon of salt, then you know that wasn't Black hands.
That ain't no.
If it's a precise measurement, you know it's some bullshit.
Put some salt in there. Put some paprika.
Say eyeball it. Or use a generous amount.
Yeah.
Or liberal. You know what I'm saying? Those are black words.
Liberal amount of season it in parentheses.
Right. One recipe was like, put some salt on it.
Yeah. Put some salt on it. Stop being a bitch and put some salt on that thing.
Your gay ass.
Gay ass. Make the chili. Make chili like a
be a fucking man.
Yeah.
Put some salt on that shit.
Oh, right quick. Can we go back? Have you ever had a dude try to holler at your girl while you with her?
No. The closest I've come to that level of disrespect is, well, two stories coming to mind. One, the first story that jumped in my head was my boy and I were at Republic Gardens. This is like back in the day, like early 2000s. And my ex was there. Yeah. My ex was there. And, you know, I'm not vain or anything, but all of my ladies are very attractive. You know what I'm saying? I've been very blessed. So, you know, we're still friendly, and she's got a group of girls that are all fine. And my nigga was like, yo, your ex is giving me vibes. Would you be mad if I spit at her? And I was like, number one, I don't believe that, because she's not wild like that. But she
might be, though. That's what they...
Number two, if you want to holler at her, go for it. I can tell you exactly how to pleasure her. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how you want to... If that's how you want to rock, live your life. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm not in that shit. But why, though? My other question was why, though? Like, we're in a club full of women. Why is this the only one you want today?
Because we go for easy, usually.
I think we go for familiar.
That's a good point. There's a lot of dudes that have dated other comedians. Well, I can't talk shit. I got a baby by another comedian's ex-girlfriend, so I can't talk too much shit. But
wait, I love how you started with a lot of dudes.
A lot of dudes, and I was like, oh, I did that. That was me. I did that shit.
Me, right?
So, yeah, because they're familiar. They've seen them around, and then they break up, and then you see them after, and they say, hey, I know you, and I know you too.
But it's also disrespectful, because it's kind of like, well, if Russ could fuck, and I know I could hit.
No, I mean, that wasn't what I thought, but it just progressed to that. But some dudes probably do.
I think for me, like, the ultimate situation is just like, again, guys aren't willing to step in their fullness. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of what that really was is just patriarchy playing itself out. Like, this was your object. Now it's a free agent object.
Right.
And I play with your toys type of situation. Mm-hmm. And for me, even like looking back on it as an adult, it's like, even the thought of like, I can teach you how to like pleasure her. That's all possessive nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I know now is just like, nobody is mine.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't own anybody. Like, it's like the way I think about even parenting. You know, I don't own my children.
Right.
You know? Or even, you know, they came through me, or, you know, or through, you know, my wife, you know. So then, you know, they're people of us, but they're not ours. You know, we don't have dominion over them. We are their custodians while they're here in this physical walk. We want to make sure they have the best, like, you know, input. Are we pouring in the right things to them? Yeah. That's even what led me to get to this space of like being separated. It's like, oh, I'm not being my best self, so I know I'm not pouring in the right shit. Yeah. Like the batter's fucked up, so this recipe's gonna be fucked up. Yeah. And that's bad for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I can go along with the kid thing. So for a while with my daughter, she's 6 now, but you know, every now and then
they grow up fast.
I know. and she like talks and shit now. Like, no, I'm not trying to be funny. Before she doesn't talk. She would just kind of just chill out, be quiet. Every now and then she has her quiet moments.
Okay.
But so I would try to hug her, to your point of like, these aren't my possessions.
Yeah.
I would try to hug her and pick her up, and she would be like, no, like, don't pick me up. And I would be like, oh, I can't pick her up.
Yeah.
So I had to bring myself down and go, oh, she doesn't want to be picked up, so I won't pick her up.
Yeah. Let her have her personhood.
Yeah.
So that she knows that she has agency over her body and governing over her body. Those are all really good lessons.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think that you were offering is like, you have to get over your own ego about shit.
Yeah, because a part of it is just like, but I'm daddy though. Like,
right. You my baby.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought too. But you my kid though. Come here. So I had to get over my own rejection and just go, oh, you don't want to get picked up. All right.
Well, that's actually with my kids, I had to realize that's where I struggle with intimacy. Like,
you think?
My kids are very, very cuddly.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're like puppies.
That's
they're
hilarious.
Like always on top of me. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's just like, for me, I was like, get the fuck away from me. Like in my head. Like,
so you had the opposite.
Leave me the fuck alone, right? But I realized that I just didn't like a person like just feeling they could just touch me whenever they wanted to. Or like I was just like a shelf or like a tape, like it just lean on you and shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like, hey, listen. Actually, and one of the things my daughter did for me, she just said the same thing. She's like, Daddy, I'm not, I want you to listen. That's in my joke. I want you to hold me more.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like very much like, oh, I didn't realize that's what you needed. But now that you've like verbalized it, I can see that that's a thing. And like, I'm one of the few people in the family that she cuddles with because we had that conversation with little 6-year-old, 8-year-old herself telling me about her boundaries. I thought that was beautiful. Yeah. That made me feel like, oh, maybe I am doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like where she felt confident enough to talk to me about something that she was feeling, a need that she wanted. She expressed that need. I was able to meet that need and get over myself. And now our relationship is stronger. Like, I feel like that's like the perfect model for what parents should offer children and for what we should have in our relation to other people, period. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think that's a lesson they learn because girls especially learn their relationships with men from daddy.
Yeah.
And if daddy can't control himself and daddy can't like respect the fact that you don't want to be touched, but also be there when you need them, then I feel like that's a lesson that they learn about men like later on in life. I mean, that's
even if it's not just like the traditional families, like even if it's 2 women in the house, whatever, or 2 men, whatever the example is, that's the model they know for all relationships.
Right.
And that model is going to be flawed. None of us have perfect ideal relationships that we're living.
Yeah.
And each individual brings their own like unique circumstance to it. So it's like you have to learn how, like, what your wants and needs are. And you have to have the right environment to foster the development of that. Like for me, a lot of parenting is just like getting over myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like admitting that I don't know everything.
Exactly.
Right? And like just being able to be like willing to learn and committed to the task. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think there's some level of not like they know, I mean, they're kids, they don't know everything, but there's some stuff that they do know. And
there's a lot of stuff they know.
Like we can't assume when I was growing up, whatever my mom said, that was it. There was no like my mom would tell me something, I would say why, she would say shut up, because I said so. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what?
What? Did you ask? You said something? I told you to do something, you said something after?
Why are you still here when I told you
to do something? Right. What are you doing here? That was almost a whooping, just still being there. My daughter, I got to explain every level of an idea to my daughter before she will agree with it. And I think that's a challenge because I never thought that I would have to think things through all the way before somebody else would have to go put this in the sink so I can wash it later. When you put that in the sink, wash it off. So when I put it in the dishwasher later, it'll be clean by itself.
Yeah,
right. Because before, when I said, hey, go put this in the sink, she'd be like, and wash it off. She'll be like, why? And okay, because the dishwasher isn't that good. So you kind of have to wash it before you put it in there. So go do it. And my mom was shocked a little bit. I think she's kind of gotten over it now, but initially my mom was like, just tell her to go do the thing, and then she'll I don't understand why you and I would ask my mom, like,
taking her earrings off, like, taking her belt off, right?
Taking her shoes off, right? I remember these.
Which weapon do you want? You want the shoe, or
right?
You want the belt?
She was stretching. I remember these. I ain't had to do one of these in a while.
You know what I realized is, like, we're a very privileged generation in the capacity that we're one of the few, if not the first generation of Black people and Black families that's not raising, I don't know if it's fair to say we're not raising them in terror, because Black and brown people are still under plight.
Right.
But the laws weren't written to terrorize us. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't like legitimate segregation. There wasn't, and I say this with some degree of, like, this is not absolute. You know, Maryland is what, the number one state with young Black men arrested and jailed and imprisoned. Like, we have the highest rate of imprisonment in the nation. So I take this with a grain of salt. But what I'm saying is, like, I know if my kids leave the house, the level of threat is not like what it was with my forebears. I know that they have more opportunity than my forebears had. I know if my father had not been willing to go into the military and, you know, and pursue an undergraduate education and on and receive his medical, you know, license, I would not be in a position to, you know, number one, look at scholarship and academia as like the appropriate stepping stone.
Right.
And I wouldn't be in a position to be like, oh, I have options out here. You know what I mean? I'd be one of these, like, first two Black people. I'm like, you know, second generation, you know, college grad. So, you know, we have a lot of opportunities and we have a lot of privileges we benefit from. But this is a long-winded way of saying, like, our kids have more agency now. They have more opportunity to think through things and think about why they should do things. And they have more complexity in their choices because they have choices. Yeah. Like, we didn't, you know, our forebears didn't have choices. My father was one step away from sharecropping. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, legitimately. So, I don't know. I'm comfortable asking the questions. I have to be very conscious of not, like, immediately responding with, like, an ego defense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm your dad.
Because sometimes that's what sometimes I will come back like, just do it because I said to do it. Yeah. And that never works. Just do it because I said do it. I'm bigger than you. Like, just do it.
Oh, and is it Tuesday again and Daddy's telling me what to do?
Right. She just does like I'm not gonna do it. So
I get that.
Or she cries, like, or she'll just crumble, and I gotta go, listen, it's gonna be a lot of people maybe not now, but before it's gonna be a lot of people telling you to do stuff that you're not gonna want to do. So unless you're in a position to say fuck you, then you're gonna have to do it until you can, you know, get away from these people or, you know, get a lot of money or something. I don't know, and I don't know if that's one of those lessons where I have to, it's a challenge to get her to see that.
Yeah, but you're in struggling with that, like, desire to have her do what you asked. You're really struggling within yourself.
Of course.
It's all about, like, how you're governing yourself in response to this perceived threat or insult. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's interesting, like, being a one family with two households, right? There's times when I've walked into, you know, their house, and it's just like they like all scatter. You know what I mean? Like they'll be eating pizza in the living room, and they know that doesn't fly at my place. So they're like, so they'll me like run back to the dining room table.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like I've left, and then I realized like 20 minutes later I forgot something, so I'll come back, and they're like, they're still downstairs in the living room. They're supposed to be in bed. They're all like flee up the stairs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just little silly shit.
You caught them like roaches.
Yeah. But it's also like I don't know. Like I think one of the things that we realized, especially living separately now, is like the space is very good for us because we have two divergent philosophies about how we're going to raise a family. Mm-hmm. And I'm a lot more like strict around like certain things being the way they are. Like a routine is set. Like if you come to my house at 6, there's going to be food on the table.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Or bedtime
structure.
Or
a little more structure.
But that's a direct result of me not having that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was talking to my mom about this shit the other day. I don't know how your Mother's Day was. My shit was mad sad because it was like I drove down to Baltimore to see her, and then I had the flowers, the card, the gift, whatever, balloon. But when we're all masked up, but I was like, normally this is my, happy Mother's Day hug moment. Mm-hmm. And I can't even hug moms. This shit is whack. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then we started like just talking about, parenting and what's it's like and all this kind of shit. And something I realized is like my kids would be like, Daddy, I'm hungry, expecting that I'm about to start cooking some shit. Now, when I was coming up, I was like often left alone, latchkey style. So if I was hungry, me and my siblings would like scramble around on a hunt to look for change to find enough money to order a pizza. Right. So I'm like, they're growing up in a completely different way than I did. You know what I mean? Like, well, nigga, you hungry? Why haven't you, turn over the couch pillows? Right. And found the phone book so you can get Domino's. Yeah. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? What am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that strictness, because I have an issue with it too, when we're out and it'll be me, my daughter, and my girlfriend usually. Yeah. And we'll be hanging together. Yeah. They'll have like a little thing going on. Like they'll have a connection with the fact that they're a little looser and they'll be okay. And I'll be like, be careful on calm down when you jumping off of the, okay. And they'll both be like, oh, Dad, calm down. I'm like, look, this could happen, and I'm just looking for any type of a bird could swoop down and pick your ass up and take you away. And then how I'm supposed to get you now? How am I supposed to get you? What am I supposed to do?
Once that velociraptor, that pterodactyl comes,
it could happen. That's my dilemma, is trying to stay cool while I'm freaking out on the inside. Like, yo, I wish you would stop running so fast, because she's out of my, how long my arms are. She's out of my arm length. Like I can't reach her. So is that like
do the classic black mama like speech before we step out in public? Like, now when we get out this car,
yeah, of course,
don't y'all be running everywhere and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't see you, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? If I have to call you more than twice, you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of shit.
Yeah. But if I can't see you, you can't. If you can't see me, I can't see you.
100%.
So you need to be where.
I know where that stems from for me. My sister, my baby sister, she used to always get lost.
Right.
No matter where we were, if we were on a boat trip, if we were at the zoo, she would always get lost because she would wander off. She would just elope and just go wander and have her, adventure and shit. Right. So now it creates like hypervigilance in me. Mm-hmm. But also I know that I'm the dad, and I think that that's, this part of like identities for this male construct that we buy into. Mm-hmm. And one of mine is like protecting the kids.
Protector, like, right. That's
like
mine.
You're not about to, on my watch,
right.
You're not about to die. You're not about to get harmed or die. On mommy's watch, that's cool.
Right.
Because then it's her fault.
Because it's her fault, but also there's a lot more, like she has more skin in the game than you do.
Yeah.
I feel like moms are just like, oh, it happened while mom was watching. Dad can be upset. Dad can be like, let's make another one. But if something happens with me, like on my watch, like I can't recreate this. Like I can't go back. So I don't know if that's like I don't want her to have anything on me. Like when she goes back, like when she got hurt yesterday. We was playing this game and she was running, it was on this concrete slab. Nice. And it was an alphabet in a circle. And then we stood on our own letters. Like I stood on T, she stood on A, like the beginning of our names. And then we would run to the ball in the middle.
This is so adorable.
Run back.
This made up game.
Completely made up. Completely made it up. And so if we kept whoever won getting to the ball, you go to the next letter. I go back to my first name. And of course I just let her win. So she would just go and she would spell her name. Yeah. She's 5, 6. She's 6.
The kids have to earn everything from me, dog. Like,
well, let me be honest. I let her win some of the time. Sometimes I couldn't. She beat me some of the time. But because it takes me a while to build up speed. So she's got little legs. She just goes. I gotta jump like 2 whatever. Anyway, she beat me. So one of those times she beat me to the ball. She stepped on the ball and the ball rolled up on her and she fell backwards. Yeah. Right. And she hit her
elbow.
She hurt her elbow on the concrete, right? Try to play it off.
Up, Tim.
I know. Because I went back to the mom, and the mom was like, "What happened to her arm?" And I'm
like she got a clipboard out, like.
Yep. She's counting. So this is the 3rd elbow scrape, and like I'm like, but she's
Child Protective Services and shit. So.
Right.
So this is the second incident in 30 days.
Right. I'm thinking the shit that happened. The umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck when she came out of you. So at least I didn't cut her airway off. Like,
yo, I'm so glad it's not me and that all parents are petty like that, dog.
I know.
That unnecessary scorekeeping.
Yep.
Remember back in 2009 though, when you know what I'm saying?
So she had the scratch went through the epidermis. You talking about like scientific terms? It went through the first epidermis. Okay.
The shit I hate is when they hit you with the passive aggressive shit. They're like, did you even bother to sterilize it before you?
Yes. Right? Yeah. Did you put any kaopectate or she just started naming shit? Did you put any So I had to put some cream on it and a Band-Aid. And then the Band-Aids weren't big enough for the circular. Those are the worst. Circular, like cuts or whatever. It's not like a little slit. It was like a circle. So the top part of it was sticking out. So I had to find
not happy unless it takes off a significant part of your skin.
Yeah.
David's like, oh, only a stretch.
Yeah. What? Shit is that? So, I mean, but I'm not taking tap. She hurt her wrist like earlier this week too. So with her.
So both y'all are just bad parents. Huh?
I know. She's clumsy. It ain't us, it's her. She's 6. She don't know how to walk yet.
You know what's the hilarious shit about this is that it's always the visible scars that we're more concerned about.
Yeah.
And not the underlying emotional scars that
emotional
are about,
right?
That are truly fucking them over. You know
yeah.
Remember when Daddy called mommy a bitch?
Yeah.
That doesn't even register. But if you fell in the pavement, you know what I'm saying?
Right. You're like, let me cover this shit up. Right. Yeah. People gonna see that.
And I've learned to have a lot more compassion around shit like that.
Yeah. Like
part of the lessons that I've learned is like one of the hardest things about being a father is knowing that you can't protect your kids from everything.
I know. I'm having troubles with that one.
Dog, my daughter's gonna be 13 in July.
Yeah.
And I'm losing my shit.
Because she's not gonna be right there.
Yo.
Yeah. That's terrifying
crazy,
to me.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like, like even the reality of her like menstruating, you know what I mean? And being like curious about her body and like you know, all of a sudden there's a body policing that's occurring, you know?
Yeah.
Like for me, you know, I'm very much on like, let women be free. So like the whole free boobs, free the nipple movement, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know, no bras, all that kind of shit that I would, you know, put out on Facebook. I try to practice in life. But but it's that's where the hypocrisy comes to play. You know what I'm saying? Like not my baby. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
If my daughter's in the house, you know, she didn't have to wear a bra, but she's very easily excited about bounding out of the house and like going anywhere, you know, with like just a tank top on, you know, boobs swaying. And I'm like, yo,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you can put another shirt on, but let like her mom come by. It's like, oh, she's got to wear a bra. She has to wear, this is the wrong top, da 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 da. I'm like, you can't just walk out there like that. And I'm like, this is a lot.
Has her mom been super like, I noticed like on these shows, the women are a lot more like open for their daughter to, oh girl, let her go out there and get some male attention. Like they're real.
That's sitcoms. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't know
okay.
like that at all.
Okay.
Right. And I know like
don't worry about that.
Their mom's not like that at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I realized in this pod, all of a sudden, like in this, just talking to you, I have no idea what to call her. Because legally she's my wife.
Yeah, wife, ex-wife.
We're not divorced yet.
There's no nickname. There's no nickname for the ex-wife.
Well, there's ex-wife, but there's no name for the space when you're separated.
There's no name. This might be funny. There's no name for the almost ex-wife. There's a name for the almost wife, fiance.
Yeah. Yes.
What's the name for the almost ex-wife?
And he's the unfianced. Like
the unfianced.
I have no idea, dog. I have no idea.
You say it backwards?
Struggling. Like typically.
Any enough?
If this wasn't like being recorded, I would just say her name. Like
right. That's why I didn't want to say it.
Like own her personhood, but
right.
But now I'm just like when people are talking to me about her or about us, they always like struggle.
Yeah. Like, there's a pause.
They're tiptoeing around.
Yeah. That's what I just did.
Because language is important, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be like, in my heart of hearts, dog, I really want to be like my nigga. Like that's my homie. Like I want us to get there where we're like, you know, truly in accord on like we're both co-parenting. This is our crew. We're a family. But I also know that like
I'm gonna write it out.
It's been what? We separated in July. I moved out in November. So it hasn't even been a year, dog. So thinking that like that I had the language for it, or that other people are gonna be like evolved enough or mature enough to like reach this place where they can accept it is absurd. You know what I'm saying? Like it took me 3 years to get to a space where I had the courage to leave. You know what I'm saying? Or even give voice to that. So I don't expect everybody else to catch up in 6 months or 9 months. You know what I mean? But there is got to be a word for it.
There's got to be.
Ex doesn't sound right.
Ich knife?
Huh?
That's fiance backwards. Ich knife?
That
sounds terrible.
Should be like the trans movement, them.
Yeah, them.
And their mom
sounds so
informal. It sounds like a PTA meeting, like or like you're in clinical studies, like their mother, the household that she raises them in. Just it's a lot of it is so ridiculous, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, where can people find you?
Everywhere at Russ_jokes.
Russ_jokes.
Russ_jokes. That's been my handle for almost 10 years now, dog.
Yeah.
I just realized that like I can't claim 10 years in comedy when my anniversary comes because this year is irrelevant.
That's what I was telling. I did Tony's podcast, Tony Minor. I was saying this year don't count. This would have been my 16th year in comedy.
Yeah.
I don't count this year. I'm doing comedy for the first time tomorrow at the Positanos right here on Zoom as well.
Good old Kurt.
I'll send out a link to it. But yeah,
I like Tony's pod. That was fun, man. Because it's like kicking the shit. She's always got jokes. I love her laugh. You know what I'm saying? She's always got big energy.
Yeah.
But also, you can tell
She's a
that she
sweetheart.
really loves the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? Mm-hmm. She's been doing it for a little bit too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else. I think we talked about the disrespectful dude. What did you want to cover? That's maybe I'll do a segment like that. I'm trying to get this a little more structured.
Why, dog? This is what we talked about, avoiding at all costs.
Yeah, but
having the conversation.
I want to try to structure it first, and then if it falls off the rails, then I'm cool with that too. So it's been off the rails. Let's do some. I got another one after that though. I figured it out. But what is something that you wanted to talk about this week? Because I mean,
I don't know.
We got Ahmaud Arbery. We got a couple other people that got shot.
I definitely don't want to talk about him or what's the other one, Benicia.
I
definitely don't want to address it because I mean,
cool.
Well, here's the long and short of it. The fact that Black people are still being terrorized while dealing with coronavirus,
right? Exactly.
Just obviates what, like, for me, coronavirus shines a spotlight on existing issues.
Right.
And the issues that we have been suffering disproportionately forever are obvious.
Yeah.
To a point where you just have to be like,
damn it,
completely checked out of reality. Like, for me, it's like, how are you so racist that you find time to terrorize Black people in the midst of all this shit?
Right.
Like,
I still can't figure it out.
Like, and for me, it just underscores that shit is ingrained.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think I was talking to you about this joke. I've been working on shit for like as long as I've been a comedian. But part of me excuses like racial incidents because of the fact that for 400 years, white people were allowed to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do.
Right. So
how the fuck do we expect them to behave in any way opposite that? It's like, this is multi-generational nonsense.
Right. Like even when we're in a pandemic and you're supposed to be home chilling out, you decide to go and, hey, let's go clean up the streets of Georgia while we're out. Like, who does that? Instead of going to get a drink, instead of going to get support a local business by getting a margarita or something. Hey, let's go get some food to go at this local spot.
But even
let's go clean up the neighborhood that we're not even in.
But even these pieces of shit that shot him are like so like stereotypically who you would expect to behave this way.
Exactly.
For me, it's like, I think it's very interesting that it took till now for us to discover this issue when it occurred in February.
Yeah.
I think the already existing issue is exposed to light about the fact that a prosecutor or a sheriff's office or whoever the fuck can refuse to give evidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that's
just decide not to.
Just like, no, I mean, this video that clearly shows this boy being murdered.
Right. Yeah. Clear, like, obviously.
Why would I let that be part of evidence?
Right.
Why
I don't understand.
And then, I don't know, man, like, one thing I've been focusing on is it's really important to keep yourself like mentally, physically, spiritually healthy in the space of quarantine and shelter in place. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't have any more energy to expend in this already hyper-vigilant state to thinking about the crisis that Black people are under. Yeah. Like, for me, this certifies that we need to be for us, by us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, whenever the CDC puts out news about, we're flattening the curve, I'm like, I don't know if that's true for Black people.
I don't think so.
Like when the National says, 30 million people unemployed, I'm only thinking about how many Black and brown people that is. Because we're the only people that are going to give a fuck, right? Right. When niggas are like Governor Hogan is like, oh yeah, I'm going to open up the state again. And I know Montgomery County is like the highest fucking, next to PG County per capita for coronavirus cases. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just like, this shit, they're not thinking about Black and brown people. They're thinking about, our calculation, our math says that the people who are going to be impacted the most are Black and brown. Therefore, we're not worried about this shit. Go handle your business.
Yeah, that's
And so
across the board.
So the same is true for Ahmaud and the sister, you know, who was shot in her home.
Yep.
Like, police in New York City are beating Black people over the head and wrestling down to the street for not wearing masks.
For no mask.
But, you know, that's Brooklyn and the Bronx. But then if they go to the Village, like, they're, you know, sharing cups of water with these niggas.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, for me, it's just like, this is such a pervasive societal issue that I think that for me, it was like 2016 certified that we don't have the time to wait for white people to wake up.
No.
We have to take care of ourselves.
Right.
And part of taking care of ourselves is making sure that our communities are protected, that our homes are protected,
right,
that we are putting the right people in place. Like, I think Georgia is the same state that has like a record number of Black female judges. You know what I'm saying? So it's how can we get more judges in those spaces? How can we get the police out of our communities? How can we make sure Billy Bob and Joe Bumfuck, whoever those two white dudes' names are, the WW
I forgot
superstars of hillbillies, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how can we make sure these MAGA motherfuckers are executed, you know what I'm saying, on live television? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we motivate that kind of shit to happen? Because for me, it's like, I was talking to my brother and sister the other day, like, it's good to have a healthy fear of white people, you know what I'm saying? Because the one thing that you can expect from them is their consistency.
Yeah.
It's been 400 or 500 years since they've been murdering people, raping people, trafficking people, thinking about people as property and chattel.
Right.
How do you use that knowledge to govern yourselves in spaces where you have to engage them? If Karen is like I was talking to some sister who said she was working in retail, you know, those are the niggas that are dying, right? The retail niggas and all the other essential workers, like my brother who's a physician, they're the niggas that are dying, right?
Right.
So the retail worker was like, she was talking to some lady in Oklahoma, and the lady was like, can you take your mask off when you're talking to me like a real American? Like, bitch, no, I'm not dying for you.
Do you? I mean, this, I don't understand the ignorance, not on our part too, but on a lot of white people's parts. If you don't know our, like, I mean, I don't know if I said this before, but there's a joke I used to do was this guy, like on Discovery Channel, this guy will go to Alaska and look at polar bears, right? And he'll know all this shit about polar bears. I've stayed out here for months and months just to get this one picture of a polar bear, like eating, you know, fish or whatever. Yeah. And you come back and you don't know that your Black neighbor likes watermelon. Like, you don't know anything about, you don't know his last name. You've never seen him like without a hat on, like stupid shit like that. I'm like, you know all this shit about polar bears, but you don't know me? Like, you don't know this guy? And that to me is just that's obvious. Like, you're doing that on purpose. I don't know. Purposely, you dehumanize. You just go, oh, that's a thing that's there. That it's like I'm a car or something. Like, that's a thing that's there that I don't really need to get to understand it all. I don't get to know. And, you know.
White people have done that for centuries. Like, first of all,
exactly.
The very reality that there are African Americans and Latinx Americans and Indian Americans and on and on and on. But there's not European Americans, there's just white people. Like, that just says it in and of itself, like how pervasive the issue is. For me, it ultimately boils down to scholars have proven that there is an implicit bias against Black and brown people. When they see us, they see a threat. And, you know, threats are either perceived or legitimate. Right. And if you have 5 times as many guns as people, and an administration that ascribes to themselves like death, you know what I'm saying, and dominion, then for us, it's like, this is how I kind of view white people. whenever I go into the beach, I have a healthy fear of the ocean.
Right.
Because I know that there are marine life.
Right.
That's their dominion. They could really fuck me up.
They can fuck you up. They down there too.
Yeah.
Don't come down here, dog.
In America, I operate in the same capacity. Like, I might be willing to jump in and go scuba diving where there are sharks if I have the right training and I know how to govern myself.
Right.
But I also know that this is a predatory species that can do real damage. And so my black ass is not going to do that.
out of, and what's funny, out of fear of us, which I ain't been in a fight. Like I said, I ain't been in a fight since I was in the Army. Like I haven't been in any fights.
I don't want to believe. I don't like being fatalistic, but I do think America is hopeless. I do think this is like the last.
I think so too.
I think this is the last great. I think America as we know it ended in 2016. And I think that we're just starting to realize the effects of how dramatic that reality is because of a national crisis.
Right.
Or more so a global crisis. You put the wrong people in power.
Yep.
Just the right, amount of things go wrong and shit really can go asunder.
Yeah.
For me, it's criminal, just as criminal as it is to think that Black people are being murdered indiscriminately, it's criminal to think that like an airline could ask for a bailout while 30 million people are unemployed.
And get it. And get it. Like meanwhile, it's the people that can't pay their rent, they're getting their rent like taken, they don't have to pay their rent.
Yeah.
Right. They don't have to pay their rent, but at the end of that period, they have to pay all of their rent. Like,
see, coronavirus calls everything to the carpet, dog. It calls bullshit on everything because it says capitalism is a scam.
Right.
Your jobs are a scam. Everything's about exploitation. Right. So if a multi-billion-dollar multinational company needs billions to survive, why do I only need a one-time $1,200 check if I make under a certain amount of money?
Right.
And help me understand, like, how does it help me if I can't afford to pay my mortgage now for you to make me pay it back? I just owe it later. I'm gonna
have it then in 3 months. What do you think I'm gonna be doing during the selling crack? What do you think I'm gonna be doing while I can't pay and then be able to pay at the end of that? I don't understand that.
I gotta have all this downtime to start my own Amazon, so I'll be a trillionaire by the time this shit is over.
Right. Like, I mean, that's honestly, I've been kind of talking about it for a little while to just random people or whatever, but it's about time we just go ahead and just head back, man. Pick a country and head out. I've been watching videos about it.
It doesn't have to be anything more than a decision, because have you heard about repatriation, right? Like, there are many nations in Africa that are like, listen, if you are one of the stolen children of Africa, you can come back here and we will naturalize you. We will make you a citizen. Ghana is huge on that. Cameroon is big. If Cameroon is like, if you can prove that you have DNA or ancestry from here, we'll welcome you. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's identifying personally what your quality of life expectations are. Yeah. And thinking about where you can realize them. Yeah. And also understanding that when you enter another country that's foreign to your home country, that you have the potential to be a gentrifier. So you need to be willing to learn. You need to be willing to be humble. You need to be willing to integrate and work within the communities. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was in Cape Verde in December, I was thinking very much like, I don't think that I want to live anywhere. I think I'd like to have a home in 4 different countries and every season be in a different place. Right. Strategically. Yeah. Yeah, just like I can't do America in the winters. So
no, it's not worth it. There's no. That's when we should all be staying home. This should have been happened. Everything I've learned as far as teleworking go, like, this should have been happened, because it took us a week to get up and running the same way we were every day when we went to work. We're doing most of that shit now, 80%. Except, of course, the stuff that all of these goofy ass meetings and all of these people that are useless. And I don't mean like useless these people that are so they're so useless that when they come to work, they slow everybody else down.
Yeah, they just throw a whole monkey wrench in the shit. Yeah.
Their job is to make sure that everybody else's job is harder. That's what they do. I don't know what they're doing now, but this should have been happened.
I don't know. One of the things that I'm practicing during this time is gratitude. And I'm really
definitely
thankful this happened for a multitude of reasons. But when I think about the work that I do, I'm very thankful that I'm in a well-paid position.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very thankful that my job, because of the amount of experience that I have now, is such, I can do it with such ease. It doesn't cause complications at home. So when I don't know what your life is like now with, distance learning, but having 4 kids to have to distance learn at the same time is very complex.
Yeah.
So, I've told the kids from 8 to 4, we're going to considering that school hours. So there's no Nintendo, no devices. My kids started to lose their shit at first, but then they recognized, okay, it's not so bad. We get through our schoolwork, you know what I mean? But then I had to realize that there's a difference between schooling and education.
Right.
My kids love to complain about the 30 minutes they have to plug into the fucking Zoom call to do their classwork, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would have been salutatorian and valedictorian out this bitch if I had to go to class for 20 minutes a day, nigga.
Yeah. That's it.
But I was talking to Sean Joyce about this, man. I'm taking the time to recognize that this is the perfect opportunity to educate my children about life skills and shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The things that we know.
Especially the internet.
Taught.
Yeah, especially the internet. But you said that they're not going to be taught it?
Yeah, just my daughter was really in her feelings because she was like, my teacher did not do anything special for Black History Month. And I was like,
not.
Well, she's a white woman.
Yeah.
She was like, but my teacher last year did something. And I was like, well,
she's a Black woman.
She's one of the good ones.
Yeah. Oh, she's a good one. Oh, okay.
I was like, no, but honestly, the false, understanding of this whole shit is that Black history is every day. We are American history.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to us to talk about this shit. So I knew, that the teachers are not going to teach them about what Black people have contributed to society, but this is my opportunity too. And so now, we sit down and we rap about all sorts of shit.
Right.
I talked to my daughter about depression the other day. They're not teaching mental health awareness in schools.
No.
My kids know that, if they're feeling low, they can talk to me about it.
Yeah. I'm
very keen to, plug in with them a lot because it's for my youngest and for my second, I'm very, they're the social kids. Mm-hmm. So this is a very difficult time for them. Not being to have their peers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We were when we were in school, we would learn from books. I never thought about how old are those books? Because I feel like some of the stuff that we learned was really outdated. Do you remember Acid Rain?
Yeah. In the 90s. That was the biggest thing.
Have you seen Acid Rain? Number one. Number two, we learned so much about Acid Rain. And it was supposed to be the damage on the Statue of Liberty is from Acid Rain and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, I've been outside 3 times this year and it's been raining while the sun was out. They don't have a name for that shit. I've never heard. The only thing I know about that is that the devil's girlfriend is crying or some bullshit that somebody made up. But Acid Rain, that was in one of my textbooks. This is my social studies book or whatever. You're going to experience acid rain. And this is it's common. It happens.
I used to have this joke about why are we still teaching our kids about fucking dinosaurs?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
what value is this?
I mean, what? But what? Do you think they're not real, or do you just think that they're?
What is the point? So what?
They want. They're cute.
It's just filling their brains with nonsense. Dog. Teach me how to balance a checkbook, bitch. Like I don't need to know.
They're adorable. Dog,
teach me about credit cards and shit. Like teach me how to put an oven in the classroom and do home ec. So I know how to make. It makes me so sad whenever I go grocery shopping, dog, that the only thing missing from shelves is like spaghetti noodles and ground beef. Like,
dog.
Like, do
every time
to cook anything?
Dog, every time I go down the aisle, bow ties and generic ass tomato sauce is left every time.
Dog. It's just.
I'm like, what are y'all cooking? Is everybody eating fucking spaghetti? And like, I mean.
Yo, I had to reframe.
Get some recipes.
Like as recently as last week, I had to like reframe what I miss because of coronavirus to what I don't miss because of coronavirus. Like I don't miss expensive ass cocktails.
Right.
I don't miss parking tickets. I don't miss, you know what I'm saying, struggling to find a parking spot when I'm in a comedy spot. I don't miss waiting for my turn. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, like I was watching that, I saw a bit of that pod you do with Tony. And you were like, I don't really miss comedy right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like you were one of the first niggas to say that shit with earnesty. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't.
Earnest. And it was like,
I don't miss it.
When you said it, I was like, oh, like I miss performing.
I miss
but
performing.
I don't miss all the shit that goes with it.
I don't miss the bullshit. I miss going on stage and doing 5 to 10 minutes.
Yes. I miss
any more after that. I'm like, I can do that on this. Like this to me is about the same.
I miss having an idea and going to talk about it. Like
you can do that here too.
Yeah, but
you can do that here too.
What I realized is like Tony was the first person to like ask me to do something during the quarantine. Actually, that's not true because Paris and Rallo had their shit. So, but it was just like, well, how am I even going to perform to like? There's no audience.
Yeah, you just talk to the camera.
Like,
you're just talking.
It was talking through my fear.
Yeah,
and I realized it was like, it feels like what I would imagine moving to a new place to do stand-up is. Like that same level of anxiety.
You're starting over almost.
Yeah, but what I realized when I was doing her podcast, like I was like my armpits were sweating, like I was performing. Like I turned it on, like I was able to tap in and access it. Yeah, and I was like, yo, that's so weird. Yeah, and then I realized that like a lot of the times what we do, just as people and as artists, is we perform. Yeah, we perform our identity in different spaces. Yeah. Like when I'm talking to Tim, I talk like this. When I talk in the barbershop, I talk like this. When I'm, you know, it's just when I talk to my ex, I talk like this. When I talk to my kids, it's a very interesting like thought experiment to think about like why you feel the need to perform. It's code switching too. Yeah. There is a certain level of like I used to go to this one barbershop that was harder core. Like when I talk about homophobia, that's the one that I think of. Like they say faggot. Yeah. It was a lot of like the barbershop I go to now, like some gay dudes come in. Here's the big difference. Gay dudes come in to the barbershop. Right. They get made fun of when they leave, but they come in and they don't get kicked out like they used to at my other barbershop. Oh my God. Right? Yeah. So but these dudes were so hardcore. And I feel like when I went there, I had to be like, I had to talk, what's happening? My Texas accent, I kind of like, I mean, I squelched it a lot anyway, but I had to really like, you know, be on point, like say all the hardest shit that I did that week instead of, you know, some of the more emotional stuff that, you see that new documentary about hip hop, nigga? Yeah. But I didn't talk about like, I saw the reunion of Saved by the Bell too, you know. I don't know, like, part of my ministry now, and I think this is a result of working with my therapist, is redefining manhood. Yeah. Personally. So people, like, this is the best part about being 40. I don't give a fuck what people think about me.
Right.
So now I get to be like who I am truly.
Yeah.
And it's liberating. So if you think I'm a bitch, if you think I'm gay, if you think I'm soft, so be it. You know
I mean, you're gonna think that anyway, though.
This is soft bitch ass gay Russ for you then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I have no qualms about it. But like, I can't tell you how many brothers have come to me like, after a performance or when I walk into I remember like one of the last few shows that I got to do before the quarantine was like 51st Jokes, right? And like a lot of brothers wanted to step to me to talk to me about separating and therapy and relationships. And I didn't realize that I was like, I kind of realized that I was like this Uncle Russ or, big brother figure in the DC sphere of comedy, but I didn't realize like that people looked to me outside of comedy as a person they sought counsel with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
that's what your material is, very like thought perform.
Yeah.
Like whatever happened on the way, whatever you thought about beforehand, if something happens in the car on the way to the show, that's what you're talking about.
Well, I love the freshness of it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also exploring it too, like trying to figure out what's funny. And there's an interesting thing to that, because, when you've been doing comedy for a while, the pressure is to be as polished as you can be. So trying to come up with stuff on the way to the show, like coming up with having something happen and immediately going on stage with it, a lot, like I stepped away from that and I started to do more. This is something I thought of yesterday, but I thought it out.
Yeah.
And I have one punch, but it may not be still on my heart. It may not be as fresh. So what
came up when you were talking about that is that full circle moment happened for me during quarantine when I realized like the esteem that we really want is from other comedians.
Yeah.
Because when you get to this stage of comedy, what you recognize is that nobody loves this shit more than we do.
Nope.
And the doors that are open for you are because of other comedians.
Because they know you and because they know, I know who would be a good fit for this. Yep.
They trust you for a certain spot.
Trust you. Yep.
Yeah. They vouch for you. They recommend you for shit.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what like bringing it full circle to like what we're talking about with this whole like police, like extrajudicial, like, murder and all this kind of shit.
They know you.
We have to be of our communities within our communities because we know each other. We have to be in service of one another if we're really going to come out of this. Thinking that white people are going to do anything different without demanding them to is nonsense.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, I love the space of being in comedy where I'm like, I love that I can sit and think without the pressure of the performance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I love that I can think, like, I don't know if you've been doing this, but I've been looking at my old sets and I've been working on it. I've been like, I see that this could have been better. You know what I'm saying?
Here, right quick, let me show you what I've been. You see that over there?
Yeah.
The VCR right there. That's what I've been doing. I've been looking at my old shit. Yep. Looking at old shit.
Good brothers like, Sherwin and Jason and all that, they recorded a lot of me, like a lot of my headline sets.
Yeah.
And I look back over it and I'm like, I was really stumbling onto something there. And I see like the threads and I realize that like part of finding your voice is being willing to listen to yourself and listen to others and see where you stand out in the space of it. And so I think that's what I love most about this is that where people are calling me to show up and perform are opportunities like this. Like people want to hear me more. Like I'm one of those comedians that the audience wants to rush to after the set's over to like get into the weeds of shit.
Yeah.
And not just like high sound, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And not just like hoorah, you know what I'm saying? Like tell me more. Well, that's so interesting. And I feel like it's something Chappelle said to Will Smith. He's like, it's not really about being funny. It's like, did people find you interesting enough to listen? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the real bag. So I'm really been exploring like what that means for me. And I know you've been like egging me on for a while, like Russ, before you start your pod, like, get on it. These are other areas you could explore.
Should have been done.
And
we all should have been. This right now, I think, for not to cut you off, but this right now for a lot of comics is an opportunity to really start building what they haven't had time to do.
Yeah.
And with work, and for me anyway, with work and going out, like, that's kind of taken away from what I really would like to do. Don't get me wrong, I like performing, but open mics are fun.
Right.
Are they necessary for me? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I like being around younger comics. I like that energy. I also like that hustle.
The hustle,
and
yeah.
It's this is an interesting thing. That's why I say I don't really miss it, because the part that I miss is just being around the other comics, but also, sometimes going up is, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go up now. Instead of sitting out, just hanging out, sitting out and hanging in the back with you guys, that to me is fun.
Well, it's also important.
Yeah.
Because that's your other family.
Yeah.
Like, this is the group that you identify with, where you can, like, there's a certain level of trust that we know we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Without judgment. And if we judge you, it's only because we're trying to make it funnier. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To make you, in service of you becoming better.
Yeah.
The thing that I miss is, like, I miss Black women. Like, that's that's a very.
You follow Russ on Instagram, you'll notice. I'm gonna put up both of our whatchamacalls right here.
I miss, but then I was like, I had to check myself and it's like, how is it that
our IG?
Like, do you miss the accoutrement? Like, do you miss what comes with comedy, or do you miss comedy? Like, that's what I started like really trying to unravel.
The idea thing, of course.
But I definitely miss a space to like talk through my ideas.
Yeah.
I miss like chopping it up with Teresa and Mary, you know what I'm saying? And Justin, right? I miss like certain venues, but I also miss the familiarity of going to the regular spots. You know what I mean? Like, that was my community. But truly, do I miss like the parking, the nonsense, the fake beefs, the drama? I don't miss none of that shit.
Yeah.
None of it. I don't miss like shoulda, coulda, woulda, like an industry shit.
Yeah.
I don't miss none of that shit. What I do miss is, it's kind of like when I saw my peers like excel and move on from DC. Kind of feels like that. It's like I missed that crew, but I also know that like that would edge me up to motivate me to do more and to do better and to grow. You know what I'm saying? But I know that whenever like a podcast comes around, I'm one of the first people holler at to jump on, and I'm like, oh, there's something there.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I need to step more fully into that space. You know what I'm saying?
That's to let you know something, though. I mean, your voice people want to hear your voice.
Yeah.
And I think they'll give you an opportunity. But after that, there's entertainment, but there's also interest. Like, that's what we're selling here. So
yeah. And well, for me, it lets me know that they're like me.
Or comedy and interest.
Like, comedy is like, there's one of the first things I thought about comedy is like how image focused it is. Like, how you present is so much of comedy.
Yeah, building your clown.
Yeah, but then I didn't like that, because the comedy that I loved was like albums. I fell in love with Richard Pryor before I ever saw his face. Carlin before I ever saw his face. Cosby before I ever saw his face. Right. Your records had me dying laughing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so for me, it was like, I'm a very reductive on stage. I don't move around a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't really raise my voice a lot. Like, I want you to hear the words that I'm saying. And I don't perform as much. But then there's other people that are much more dynamic, and they're true performers. Like, I'm like, oh, that's what they're doing. It's not me.
Yeah. I think it depends on the show.
Say they want to see me on radio or like host a TV show or some shit. I'm like, okay.
Just put you in the box already. Just threw you in
like
there.
Here's where you belong. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but even if that's what you want to do, then that's, I
don't know. I could see myself doing a show with you. Like, you, I love talking to you.
Yeah.
I feel like we get each other. Like, you, it feels like almost like we were trained in the same Shaolin temple. Like we're 40-year-old brothers of a certain like cultural background.
Mm-hmm. I think you're more academic, but I'm more of I've always been, I think it's just from being in the Army I know how to let someone else like be in their thing, but also not be pushed over, which I had to learn that too. But I think that's something that we both do. We make room for someone else. And I think you can work with anybody, honestly, if they work if they have that same energy coming back and forth. It's not just pull. It's not take. It's give and take.
Yeah, it's reciprocal. For me, it's like, it's all about the vibes. Like for me, like there's a certain social currency that comes with conversations. Yeah. Like I'm not going, like I always enter a conversation with curiosity. Mm-hmm. Like I'm less of like I can find myself in a conversation getting annoyed when someone says something like, the point I'm trying to make is like, nigga, why are we trying to make points? Like it's not a debate. I'm not trying to win this. Like I'm just talking to you, though. Yeah.
You gonna look at your notes, nigga? we just talking. We just trying to have a
hold on, check the scorecard. Judges. Yeah. What does he have? Right.
Like you're not getting shit if you win. But
I didn't realize that there were people that were envious of me in comedy until I started listening more.
Definitely.
And the things they started to say was very like suspect. Like,
yeah,
they'd be like, "Well, you get to do da 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 da," and I'm like, "I get to do."
Yeah. I was like, "Huh? I never heard that before. Like, I never knew." But I mean, I guess that comes with it, man. It's gonna be interesting if we go back. I mean, I think there's a new lane open now, that the online Zoom show, and I think that's like endless. If the comics are comfortable with it, of course. I mean,
I'm here for.
I'm doing my first one
that expands comedy. Period.
Yeah, and I think that will.
Because it doesn't seem right that we're still doing something they did in the 50s. Or if we even go back further than that, like to vaudeville, like this is an old art form. You know what I'm saying?
That's when they stole each other's jokes and shit. Yep.
Yeah. Maybe it's time to. Yeah. Maybe it's time to evolve. I like it. I like he said that's when they stole. Like that shit doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, but it was open and it was a lot more. But yeah, they still a lot. I've noticed. I don't know, man. I can't say too much, but it's just like I see other people. I see people do something that somebody else did on TV, and they do it, and I'm like, we all know, dog. Why you doing that?
For me, like the only thing that would hurt is if I did a joke that people knew was mine,
right? And
then someone became famous because of it. And there was nothing in return coming my way. You know what I'm saying? Like to be, okay, so for instance, you know how like Tony Woods got that write-up in New York Times about like this dude made Dave Chappelle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, Tony's been saying for as long as I've known him, you know what I mean, that's the reality. Yeah. But I just wouldn't get to, I don't know. I don't know that I could sit comfortably in that. I know that I like if I was Dr. J and I contributed to Michael Jordan doing the finger roll, I'd be excited.
Right.
But I know Dr. J is like, God damn, I want to be a billionaire too, nigga. Like,
yeah. But also, I mean, there's also a pressure that comes to it. Now, with the fame comes all this other shit that went along with it. And I think that Dave Chappelle handled it the way he handled it. And you got to look at it like, do you think Tony feels like he could have handled it that way? Or do you think he would have cracked before that? Or not cracked, but do you think he would have dealt with it differently before that? Do you think he would have even got to that level? Because
first I can't speak for Tony because I don't, that's his walk.
Of course.
He made his choices.
Yeah.
Right. I can't speak for Dave. What I am saying though is it's important to understand where you have power and how you show up. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I know that especially in like the time when Tony started, the ministry was you do your stand-up, then you do movies.
Right.
Right? And then you're a superstar.
You do Def Jam and then you do movies right after that. Like that's
and
the
then
next.
And then you just never have to worry about money again.
Right.
That's the dream that we still to this day when people start comedy have bought into.
Yeah.
The beauty of this current generation is that like with the internet wave is like you don't need 800 million people liking and loving you.
Nope.
You need 100,000 people.
You need 100,000 people that really love you.
That
and you
really
good.
Fuck with you. Yeah.
Really fuck forever. With you. And you good. You good. Right? Because that'll grow and you can get those people to, I mean, if they like you no matter what. So
Janelle James said something like, if she had thought about this, she would have been a minister.
Like if she knew what she had to do, like the maintaining that she had to do.
Well, no, I think
instead of
like the power that comes with being able to speak in public and say whatever you want.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Without there being a punchline at the end of it.
Right, like just, you know, if I wanted to just secure the bag, like this is clearly the lane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I'm trying to decouple our larger like notion of what success is from comedy for me. Like I want to be very intentional about what my goals are in comedy and be very like I do want to be able to live an independent life because of comedy and because of my writing. I do want to live abundantly as a result of that. Yeah. I do want to retire working my 9 to 5. But I'm also recognizing I'm very thankful to have a 95 to be in this position now. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas aren't filming anything right now. Like there's no
themselves. That's it. Everybody's Instagram is their face. Like if you do the what's it called, the cube or whatever, it's their damn face.
Yeah, everybody's on live now. Everyone.
Yeah, everybody. There's a certain time, like 4. They're probably I was gonna say they're probably on live right now. Like your phone is lit up with somebody starting a live, and then it just populates.
Who are you fucking with? Who are you plugging into?
Anthony Oaks.
Hey,
I like that. I think you were on this last show.
Was that the last one? I loved it.
Y'all talked about is it like a debate show? Y'all talked about Insecure.
Oh, you're talking about Black Think Tank? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
I don't know. First of all, let me say unequivocally, I love Anthony Oaks. I think he's very creative, brilliant, you know, young Black artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think comedy is too small a box for him, frankly. Like he's one of those type of artists. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm always honored to do like his shows. But the thing that I loved about that space more than anything is I knew entering it that I wanted to do it. I was excited about doing it. And I knew that it was going to be like a safe space to just talk openly about Black art. And that's like how he pitched it to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's like, hey, you know, you talk about Insecure. I always like the things you talk about, you know, on your social media and when you talk in person. Would you like to be a part of my show? I'm like, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's the format, like the who was in the room was great. You know, Haywood he's another one of these brothers I think is bigger than comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always thinking about the profound and thinking about us, and he's always in service of shit. You know what I'm saying? So to see him and his wife, Amber J, she had this podcast that I loved. She's like, you can tell how like her level of awareness, you know what I'm saying, in conversation. And then just like it's the right amount of energy in the room that stimulates a good conversation. So for me, and then it's like we're talking about something that's very beloved in the community. Like people love Insecure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's very beloved television for me.
Very what's the word? Not explosive. Damn it. Not compelling. What's the word when people have one feeling about shit?
Polarizing.
Polarizing, dog. people fucking, when they talk about Molly, they fucking love Molly or they hate Molly. So that shit is like perfect, especially this season. Like people are going in on Molly this season.
Molly's the perfect hateable character.
She is.
Because you want her to win so much.
Yeah, and then you go, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
She's like of that, what's the word? She's Huxtable-esque.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like,
what are you doing, Vanessa?
Right ingredients.
Yeah. What are you doing, Vanessa? Going on a fake? Why are you lying to Claire about a concert that you went to out of town? What are you doing?
But also, she's the black woman, the character, if you will, archetype. She's the black woman who seemingly has it all.
Yeah.
But is not winning by society standards for what is success. She doesn't have a man. She doesn't have a husband. You know what I mean? She's got a good job, but she's still struggling in the workplace. Yeah. She has a friend circle, but she's, her friends are either always in need of her or she's always in need of them. And she can't stand up on her shit. She's emotionally distraught. She's still chasing her ex-nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has all the things that we are struck by in the community. So, like, she's much more interesting on a complex level than anybody else. Like, not a lot of the other characters have any level of depth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, for me, this I watched do you watch it on HBO, the recap episodes?
No, I haven't been watching those.
You should do it, dog, because like at the end of the episode
they break it down.
The wind down.
Yeah. I've watched a couple.
Yeah, I love that shit. I love, because I like this. I like the writing process. I like the producing process. I like to think about like how they got to the story. Yeah. So for me, that shit is. I think Issa Rae is. We got to give her flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like you would anybody else. Mm-hmm. Like I would hate to think about her as anything less than like the Sidney Poitiers of the generations before us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, she's pivotal.
She also has this writer, I forgot his name, but he also had a late night show. He was an anchor on, I think, The Daily Show for a while, black writer. Okay. Not George Wilborn. There's another one. But he did a talk show kind of like The Daily Show too. Yeah. But it just wasn't as good. He did the Correspondents' Dinner and he bombed terribly. But he did it with Obama though. And he called Obama, he said, nigga please to Obama, like at the dinner. And everybody was like,
you're talking about Larry Wilmore.
Larry Wilmore. That's yeah. I think so he writes with her.
Larry Wilmore has been in the game for like 30, 40 years, dog.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
He's an OG.
OG.
Like, he wrote on the PJs. You wrote the PJs?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me, I think what Larry Wilmore struggles with is the comedic voice he writes in doesn't match the face.
Exactly.
So it's like,
and the voice too.
You. Yeah, we don't believe you.
I don't know, dog. It's like,
when I think of black person, this is not you.
I don't want to say his name, but it's like a comic in DC that says every time he says the N-word, it's like, come on, dog. That's not, you don't say that. You don't say it enough. Like, you don't practice it enough for me to believe you.
Yo, if you ask Tony Woods, that's me. He's like, no.
Oh, really?
You need to take that out of your set. He said, you're too young, gifted, and black to
be saying that.
Man,
yo. Well, I'm glad, man. I'm glad we got a chance to talk, man. We definitely gonna talk again.
Always love talking.
We got to do a lot. We got to do a lot more of these, man. Not even record it.
Podcast now.
I mean, y'all are cool, but not even record it. Just to holler at you, just to see how you're doing. Cause
yeah, man,
this shit right now, people just, you never know. I mean, the guy Michael Yo, I think he got coronavirus. He was on Joe Rogan's show. He had coronavirus and like pneumonia at the same time, like some crazy shit.
Well, the thing is, it's like, for me, a friend of mine was talking about like this is like HIV/AIDS in the 80s.
Yeah.
like HIV is a virus, and then you get AIDS, which is the disease, and that's the same thing for coronavirus and COVID. You know what I'm saying, or SARS or whatever it is when it becomes like deadly.
Yeah.
It just calls to light how we think about our health.
Yeah.
It's something that we take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Like at a very simple level, like this is a respiratory infection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that breathing is what keeps you alive.
Yeah.
So I think it's very funny that like people are struggling with having the opportunity to sit home and breathe.
Yeah.
And sit still for a while. You know
and just chill.
Nigga,
They're
you
like,
are blessed.
I'll risk not being able to breathe if I can just go outside.
For Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah. I'm not dying and I'm not distancing myself. Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Crazy.
There's nothing out there that I want so bad, except for maybe a hug from my mom.
Right.
Now I'm willing to die for it. But that's what the reframing I was telling you about. Like Mother's Day, I was like, I'm not hugging my mom because I'm aware enough that she might not be able to survive this hug. And I'd rather have her around next year. You know what I'm saying?
Than not and yelled at today.
No, bro, anytime, you know that, dog. Anytime you want to chop it up, I'm available to you, dude.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
Baby.
Yeah, you too. Take care of the family, bro.
Will do, man. Peace.
All right. I'll talk to you. And that was Russ Green, one of my favorite dudes to holler at in the DC area. Check him out at Russ Jokes on Instagram. You guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'll see you next time.